Hence, O sadhakas, ensure that the psychic flow of your karma sadhana is directed towards Brahma sadhana. Merge your individual existence into the cosmic existence. Transform your mundane actions into spiritual actions through your cosmic ideation. An expression of Adhyatma Yoga becomes an expression of Bhuta Yoga. With this ideation, and in the process of sadhana, the sense of doership gradually vanishes and the samskaras reactive momenta gets exhausted. When Brahma is realized as the actual doer of all actions, the unit mind is no longer defined as the author of actions. And with the annihilation of all samskaras, the microcosmic entity loses its individuality, merging into the non-attributional stance and attaining the supreme beatitude. There are two types of actions, pratyamulaka, original actions, and samskaramulaka, non-original or reactive actions. Human beings have the freedom to perform original actions as they think fit, whereas in non-original actions, they are mechanically guided by the mutative force of Prakriti, who creates a congenial environment for the expression of their reactive momenta. If one performs original actions while ideating that Brahma is the actual doer, surrendering the results of actions to him, one will not acquire any samskaras from those actions. As one has relinquished the authorship of action, one's unit aham, existential I, is not affected by the consequences of the actions. Thus, in the process of constant cosmic ideation, one attains freedom from the bondages of action. During the period of requital of the reactive momenta, if one surrenders one's samskaric samvedana, the mental state born out of one's embedded samskaras, in strict philosophical parlance, it should be called pratisamvedana, because samskaras are imbibed while performing original actions. To the cosmic will. Then psychic afflictions will no longer remain as afflictions. One will accept endless torture and humiliation. As the severe and fearful expressions of one's dear Lord. One will feel blessed to have attained him in that form, albeit a severe and fearful one. Thus, even in his fearful form, he assists microcosms in attaining liberation from the serpentine noose of original deeds. Developed sadhakas, instead of feeling agonized by the suffering caused by their reactive momenta, will rather feel delighted that their reactive momenta are now on the wane. Adisaha samyoga nimitta hetuhu parastrikala dakalopi drishtaha tam vishvarupam bhuta midyam devam Svadhyaya stamupasya purvam. Whenever unit beings come in contact with physical objects, there arises the will to do something. The unit mind can only think to act if it is linked in some way with physical objects. Chitta without an object does not find an initial medium of vibration. At that time there is no conscious desire to acquire an object. Paramapurusha is the fundamental cause behind the relation created between the unit mind and its objects. In the process of sanshara and pratisanshara, the psychic expressions and material molecules created by the macrocosmic connection are subject to the laws of attraction and repulsion, speed and adjustment. In accordance with these laws, a unit mind gets the opportunity to come into contact with another unit mind, or the five fundamental factors. So Paramapurusha is the efficient cause for the coordination between abstract and abstract, between abstract and between matter and matter. Microcosmic feelings of pain and pleasure are also born out of this coordination between the unit minds and the physical objects. Another result of this coordination in the awareness of the time factor, which arises in the unit mind as the measure of pain and pleasure. As there is no entity, psychic or physical, outside Saguna Brahma, experience of pain and pleasure is purely internal. And since the number of internal objects is unlimited, Saguna Brahma's pain or pleasure is also unlimited. The innumerable microcosmic minds within him perceive time as an infinite entity, But as there is no spatial entity outside Saguna Brahma, for him there cannot be any awareness of the time factor as the measurement of pain and pleasure. Hence he is beyond the periphery of the three realms of time. His emergence took place before the beginning of time, and his all-pervasiveness spans across the past, present, and future. But human beings' awareness of time does not extend very far into the past or the future. That which is beyond the periphery of the past is called akala. Human beings, individually and collectively, only have the capacity to comprehend a fixed period of time. With advancement of knowledge, the range of time can be extended, as depicted in the pages of history. But akala, timelessness, is beyond the reach of history. Paramapurusha, though, certainly witnesses akala, and akala sees him too. This universe is his manifestation. Even in the period which people call akala, he was manifesting himself as an infinite number of microcosms, and is still doing the same today. Whatever there was, is, and will be, in the crude, subtle, and causal spheres of the universe, is a special manifestation of the Supreme Entity. He is adorable to all objects born out of bhava, the bundle of reactive momenta, responsible for the rebirth of microcosms. By accepting Paramapurusha as the nucleus of this supracosmic flow of imagination, unit beings can establish themselves on the path of progress. To assimilate the essence of that Supreme Entity with undivided attention and a pure heart is the highest sadhana. Sa briksha kala kritibi paronyo yasmat prapancha parivartatityam dharma baham papanuram bhagesham Gyanatvatmashtamamritam vishvadama. Everyone has the right to hold the Supreme Entity in their citta, but can his form be held in the same way as the objects of the quinquelemental world? No. He cannot be perceived in the same way as things like horses, elephants, or buildings. Instead, he must be perceived by the citta as its sustaining force. The citta radiates with its brilliant effulgence. When the citta is expanded beyond its limits, the microcosmic mind ultimately will be transformed into the macrocosmic mind, the ordinary criteria of the perceivable world. Literally, the traits of the world tree that are visible to people. For materialists, the criterion which makes a tree is that its roots are firmly planted in the ground to draw nourishment from the earth. For a spiritualist, however, the tree is depicted as having its roots in the air, for sustenance is drawn not from the mundane world, but from the universal spirit. The ordinary criteria of Perseon are conspicuously absent in him. He is beyond anything mundane, including the time factor, the five fundamental factors which shelter in his vast macropsychic body are moving endlessly through constant changes. The vibration of the universal prana dharma is emanating from him. He is the universal singer of the song of dharma. The performance of sinful deeds, in contrary to the introversive and extroversive macrocosmic flow, thus he endeavors constantly to pull microcosms out of the mire of sin and lead them to supreme benevolence. He is Bhagavan, the master of the divine qualities, Bhaga, unbounded occult power, Aishvarya, infinite valor, Virya, limitless repulsion, reputation, Yasaha, endless charm, Shri, immeasurable knowledge, Jnana, and supreme non-attachment, Vairagya. Aishvarya includes Anima, the power to become the lightest, Mahima, the power to become the heaviest, Vyakti, the power of maximum expansion, Prakamiya, the power to get every desire fulfilled, Ishitva, the power to exert complete and natural control over something, Vashitva, the power to enter into something and bring it under one's control, and Prapti or Kama Vashayitva, the supreme attainment. But as Bhagesha, he is superior even to Bhagavan, and is therefore above all bondages, Gunadisha. I have already told you that he is not Gunatita, beyond the scope of bondage, as it is commonly understood. It is not enough to hold this vast Purushottama in the Chitta. Rather, one will have to come in his contact and realize him as the creator of the universe deep within oneself. Only then can one attain immortality. The supreme goal of sadhana is not to ideate on him, but to bring about a total merger of the unit mind into the cosmic mind, of the unit consciousness into the cosmic consciousness. This is the only real attainment in human life. Which is the best way to attain him? Some people preach the excellence of knowledge, others proclaim the importance of action, and others emphasize the superiority of devotion. In my opinion, all three, knowledge, action, and devotion, are necessary, but devotion is more important than the other two, because it is the most helpful in the process of merging oneself in the Supreme. In the regard, the role of knowledge and action is secondary. Knowledge and action can produce a feeling of vanity in the human mind at any moment, and actually they do just that. However, even if a devotee develops some devotional vanity, it will not do much harm, because it is still the Supreme Lord who remains as the devotee's object of vanity. Herein lies the excellence of the cult of devotion. Bhagavan Shankaracharya said, Moksha karana samagram bhaktireva gariyasi. Of all the ways to attain salvation, devotion is the best.